I'm enjoying this car, despite the fact that it's 150,000 miles, and this is a personal experience. My mom had a Sienna. I remember the day we went to buy it, it was 299,000 miles, and I kid you not, that car is one of the best high mileage cars that I've ever seen.
You just think about this for a second.
Said
He wanted to tap lights to the starter, and a car that's not running, where he thought he should tap current from was the wire that feeds the injector, the nozzle. That car was either I killed the car or the car killed me. Kill or be killed.
Welcome back to the Car Stories. Well, everyone, welcome back. So, Car Stories here, it's a Niger podcast where we talk about everything cars, the trends, the experience, and of course, the madness, the road madness. And today, we have on my side here my co-host, Segun. So, Segun, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Tobi. Hope you had a great week. Everyone, welcome to my Car Stories once again. We have a guest in the house. His name is Captain Mr Shina Agbelese. He's a motorsports enthusiast. He's a car lover. You know, any story you want to hear about a car, he's been there, done that, he has seen it. So, welcome to the podcast, Shina.
Thanks, Segun, for the warm welcome to Car Stories. What can I say? Everything cars. We're here to
Everything cars. It's going to be fun. Don't worry.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So, well, before we go right into it, I was going to just straight in. I don't know if you guys saw the video of J Bash where he was talking about car enthusiasts not, going into thinking that you can go into the car community and do one that a week into 50k.
I think it was being a bit specific, more into like motorsports.
Yeah.
With like 50k. Well, there are no lies there, to be honest. Motorsports is so there are two things, right, in my experience of life, that no matter how much money you think you have, right, it has the potential to send you back to your village. And the funny part of my life is I'm actually involved in both. One is aviation, two is motorsports. Any money you think you have, if you want to exploit them to the maximum potential, it will take you from you effortlessly. Take, for example, if you estimate the cost of setting up a Formula 1 team. Anybody that has money, that feels dreams that can try. Or take, for example, you want to set up an airline. If you think you have money and you feel gingered, you can try.
So I tell people, this whole motorsports thing is like doing drugs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell people, instead of doing drugs, channel that energy to motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see that it even drain your money more than drugs. It can also kill you the same way drugs will kill you.
Wow.
But then, if you do it right and you follow all the safety precautions and you follow the rules, it might even make you money along the line. But drugs might not make you money because it might have killed you by that time. I'm just saying, I've not done both. This is not a case of the best of both worlds.
Let's say it depends in which capacity you choose to get involved in it.
That's not also a fact.
If you are a pusher, you might die, but
If you with money,
if you're a sniffer, you're just going to die.
yeah. So, motorsports is that wild, and what J Bash was saying today actually made sense because you keep buying and buying and buying. So I'll just give you a brief tip. Yeah, there's an event, a motorsports event called Revs and Runway, which we co-owned, and that event, the amount of money that you put into it is never enough. It's just from little things, buying fuel to fuel the drift cars to buying tires. So motorsports is crazy, but
That's very
I mean,
expensive.
we'll still come back to all of that at some point. I just wanted to also, because everybody around needs to learn something. So I have a few things that I would like to touch, which is, first of all, Shina, what was the very first car you ever owned?
So, are you talking like the car they dashed me or the car I bought with my money?
Let's say the car you bought with your money.
Okay. The first car I bought with my money was a Mazda RX-8.
Who does that?
Who does? For a first car, Mazda RX-8. It was a very amazing experience. You see that car was either I killed the car or the car killed me.
Kill or be killed.
Yeah, that was the. If you know anything about rotary engines, right?
I know.
Rotary engines are prone to failure without warning. And that was the cause of the Mazda RX-8. It chooses when to start and when not to start. You get that. The rotary engine it's an amazing engine. When it works, it works. It will give you that performance. It was a 305 or I don't know, almost 300 horsepower car with the suicide doors. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, you know that is the one side.
No. The suicide doors open, like like your Porsche now, for example. This opens this way, right? The red door opens, so both doors open like this and like this.
Also, the way Rolls Royce is
like
designed.
similar to the Rolls Royce.
That's what it was. The four door.
So it opens normally like any other door in the front, and the back now opens out this way, like the Rolls Royce type design. Yeah, that's the.
But you have to open the front doors.
Yeah, before you get access to that.
But Rolls Royce, where you open the back doors individually. Oh, nice.
So for me, I've always been a lover of. I prefer coupes. I don't like SUVs. I don't like four-door cars. The only four-door car I considered buying I owned was the IS350.
Okay.
And that was in around that. I owned the IS350 between
like 23 for TV games and for TV.
Oh, is it the silver one?
No, it was black. I think I saw he had the black pages. I had the black IS350. I covered of it in 2017, right?
Yeah, 2017.
Beyond what I know, if that car came back to life, you know, go to this guy. Not because it was badly used, because it was properly used. In 3 years of ownership, the only thing I replaced in that engine compartment was an alternator. Really?
Yeah.
That means you must have taken very good care. Yes. I tell anybody who is a car person, we are very misguided in maintenance cultures here with cars in Nigeria. We are of the impression that Ledipo is the best source of parts.
No. You're better off buying your parts brand new and importing it yourself.
The problem is we always feel spending that cheaper thing is a bit better. But you realize you go to Ladipo 5-6 times to the same thing, that when you realize how much that brand new parts will cost you, that will not make you go to the mechanic for 2 years to 3 years. You buy suspension brand new, properly OEM manufacturer spec, import it yourself, install it in your car. For the next 2-3 years, you're not going to visit anybody for sugar global replacements.
Not possible.
I agree.
You buy original brake pads. The same thing. It affects your fuel economy,
Everything. We don't have a predictive maintenance culture here. The culture is if it's not broken, don't fix it. If you buy your car that, for example, comes with a manual, the manual is there, shows you every single maintenance you're supposed to do at every moment in time. It has 60,000 miles, at 70,000 miles, at 80,000 miles. It's all listed there.
There was a trending topic about mileage. First, it started from the whole Lambo saga.
Yeah.
And then they posted this lady's Lambo, the white one, saying, oh, it was 45k miles, definitely. And then the other lady bought the orange one and her mileage was lower. So there was this debate about high mileage and low mileage in town. But the truth is, mileage sometimes might just be numbers. And like somebody said in the analysis, mileage at the end of the day just helps you determine the price to an extent. Because you could buy a low mileage car that has been used like shit.
Exactly.
Now, maybe since the day they left the showroom, they never serviced it, they never washed it, they never. Yeah, and they are drifting the hell out of that car.
Won't just drift.
And you say, oh, I bought it 25k. My house.
So there's not even an issue of just someone drifting.
Yeah, but I'm just even saying, like, as losing the car
anyhow.
without maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually even the key word. Without proper maintenance.
And a lot of cars abroad, when you get to 40,000 miles, by that time, they would go back for reviews. For what I've heard, I've not lived abroad before, I don't know, but they go back to the showrooms, like those that are maintained by dealership, they go back to the dealership, and the dealership now starts to tell them, oh, you are replacing XYZ. Some even get a free service time and all of that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Imagine somebody that has religiously maintained his car for that number of times going to the dealership, and he's been working on his car at dealership till he got 200,000 miles, and you bought that kind of car. You just find out that I'm enjoying this car despite the fact that it's 150,000 miles, and this is a personal experience. My mom had a Sienna. I remember the day we went to buy it, it was 299,000 miles, and I kid you not, that car is one of the best high mileage cars that I've ever seen, because we used it from that 299,000 to 350,000, and we sold it. And the guy that bought it, I still used to see him around after a year, and it was like, you sold me a good car. And so in my head, I used to even think, okay, I think in the US before this car came, they just removed everything and replaced a new one in it because it was clean in and out. I don't know how they did it. So sometimes mileage matters.
Yeah, I agree with you because I'm sorry. I remember like for my BMW, mine is a Solid, and Solid is the one that they added like a secondary pump that reduces the emission. So, and I remember how so many times I go online and I'm seeing people complaining about maybe the radiator, complaining about one thing or that. They're like, oh, just go to your dealership of GG for it's free. So it's like, I think it's free to 150,
So
150 miles wrong, but I'm happy you mentioned the particular brand.
Yeah, BMW. Certain things you get to use in a Toyota or in the Japanese cars, not even just Toyota, Lexus, even Honda. You won't take the BMW.
yeah, though
Although BMW is now more reliable than they used to be, but the late, let's say the mid 2000s, like that's, I don't know if you remember when Koja started.
yeah.
He's the early was Koja.
3 Series,
This is quick. The car. There's the E46 to keep people. Koda 3 Series. You are a mechanic.
5 or 6.
5 or 6. You didn't even see them on the road.
They're not on the road anymore. There's certain models that they just never got right. But failures of certain parts without warning occur more
On certain brands. Take for example like a Range Rover, for example. Take for example your Jaguars and whatnot. Avoid those cars high mileage. Actually, avoid them high mileage. Avoid them, to be honest. Avoid them high mileage because
certain things that shouldn't fail will for even some Japanese brands like in Nissan, for example. There's some notorious models like the Murano. Or the like Finder. There's a series of the
5, 06, 07, I'll find
the coolant
mix and transmission fluid. So if you know what you are getting into, just know that you need to be checking that thing because it will mix, and if you are not careful, it will mess up.
get the transmission failure at some point. So as much as the trick with mileage is you can get away with it high mileage with certain brands, but some brands you will not get away with it.
So for me, it's a 50-50 thing sometimes. And that's what I tell people. I've seen great high mileage that drive higher mileage, and I've seen
The million mile Lexuses.
there are a lot of them. If you go to Dubai, their Camrys do 700 km.
those taxis they use. Their cars, these cars, cabs exactly.
And the drivers will tell you that
100,000.
if this gets to 700 km, they are supposed to drop it. But if they want to make more money, they push it to 1 million. And I mean, those cars survive. Though when some Nigerians have tried to go and buy those mileage cars and they bring them to the US, so once I see those cars already, you would tell, because now the car that we use as a cab will not really get the high mileage maintenance. So the engine would have even started shaking first of all. When you put on the AC, you just get there's something off. So if you go and buy that kind of high mileage, you're on your own. But I want to throw a question in the air, and I would as long as this podcast goes on, I always ask this question wherever I see it. If I want to buy a Nigerian used car today, or I have a friend that wants to buy a Nigerian used car today, what would you advise? Because things be happening in Nigeria and people are doing Nigerian used cars. So what would you advise the person? First, the question goes this way: what brand do you advise them to look out for? And also, what are the things that you should open the eye, like say shine your eye? What are those things that you should shine your eye?
If you get Nigerian used cars, Anything is possible. Understand? Now, if you talk about things you should look out for, I'll say the most dangerous thing has to do with the electrical system. If not, that can burn on you one day. The auto electricians, aka wire, the cousins, the cousins, and go have all manner of theories that they've been passing down for generations. Case in point, direct connection for far. Whenever get bro and run your son direct connection. For example, move after Mr. Active. That one never mechanical. Whenever we see the electrical, we never ever should go the other side. Now, why on earth would you believe that a manufacturer in America with the intention that the fan should not be working forever, right? I should start and stop. Should just be working forever. You were not mad. It's there when they designed it that way, right? Now, the personal experience, right? I have a Lexus RCS, a 5-liter V8. I don't remember what exactly the issue was or what we were doing, right? But my electrician, because we actually go run the shop, he workshop together as well. So one of our workers came to me. I've forgotten what the issue was. Okay, I think the number was, I remember. One thing with my car is the parts are not readily available. Right? So sometimes I set up things temporarily while waiting for whatever shipments I'm doing to arrive, because maybe I don't want the car sitting on, I just want to drive it. So my AC compressor, Sports, it's I told my guy to get another compressor because I says, so we tried an experiment. One thing with my car is because it's tuned and definitely has been more output than any other RCF. I think they're about therefore including mine in the country currently. But I know nobody's output is as much as what mine is. That's I'm sure, right? We tried an experiment, so my compressor spouse. We also co-botanized it. But at that time, due to reasons we don't want to do, probably gets across to that conversation that the engine of the ISS note. He knows the reason why not. He knows why the engine notes. Is the reason why the engine notes, but we'll get into that. They're ready to confess. Yeah, but anyways, the compressor was there, and I think most of the parts were interchangeable and it worked. So we put it in the RCF. The RCF has a nasty habit of when I demand a lot of power from the car, it legit wound and destroyed the ISL compressor. We had 2 compressors. It happened twice. It destroyed both compressors twice. We now said, okay, you know what? While we're waiting for Mashi, because unfortunately I couldn't ship the compressor on the parts and to arrive in 2 weeks because I had other parts that were waiting for to come, so I had to delay the shipping, but then I couldn't not to drive the car. I wanted to drive the car, so within the space of like 2 weeks I'd gone through 2 compressors. Yeah. So my guy was like, okay, let's buy a manual compressor, Peugeot compressor or something. You see, it's a V8. You can pull it in the capacity, no problem. The issue was not even buying the compressor or working out. I mean, you can, where mechanics can try out, experiment, anything, you can fix anything, it's fine. Do you get? It's a temporary gap. One thing I always do is if I run something temporarily, I will unrun it. I replace it with just something. This guy is crazy. Yeah, if I temporarily do something, I will remove that thing. Whatever manufacturer oriented thing is supposed to be there, I will put it back there. I don't leave nonsense in my car. So we agreed, we got the compressor, we ran a wire, agreed on how we're going to run the wiring for it and what we're going to tap the electrical source from. So in essence, for extra cooling and productivity, we should run the fan direct connection. And I told him, why the hell will you do that? In 2 seconds after I said that, I had gone to do something else.
you realize motherfucker actually tapped and
No, for those guys, it's easy. Just go to the fan nodal and cut and make it wire, the main wire, and legit tapped that day. It's just go to that like sure
15 minutes. I came back and then I just realized that why is the fan on this car on or working when it's not supposed to work? He said, okay, I don't run it. I said, you did what?
Ask her, yeah, you mad? Because this look like the kind of car that you be doing this kind of nonsense. So this looks like the kind of car you be running.
Pistos. I said, hey, we just nicely undid whatever rubbish that he did there. So, case in point, back to the junior constraint. This is my own personal experience with me supervising my car. You want to buy Nigeria's car? Do you know all manner of things that have been done down, have gone down?
Do you understand? People tap nozzle directly from another experience.
When we brought in the CS, the key was still in the park. Remember when we were trying to start the car with the new key programming and all that, right? And the wire, it goes. You just think about this first. Too.
Said he wanted to tap lights to the starter and a car that is not running. The way he thought he should tap current from was the wire that feeds the injector, the nozzle.
And his boyfriend is coming from.
this guy need to break his head that day.
Like, just disappear for 2 seconds. I just literally disappeared, like, to sort out something. Within like 2 minutes.
And this, you can remind you, his programming key of razor blade.
Right? What was that particular guy even doing? I don't remember.
3-1 wire and
That's instead trying to naked nozzle wire. I was just lucky that I caught him before he actually put it, because those wires have a lot of protection. He had gone through protection. The blade was like this about him. And I saw him.
I pulled my hand at the back of his neck. I was ready to slap him by this. What he was doing. So, this is my own experience. Now, imagine what is going on
With people that drop their cars for people to do so and they're in the house, selling their office. So Nigeria youth car. That's it.
apparently in my public come with Shaggy.
If you have to in case check
And check. And check. And check. Is the point. You have to do so many checks to things that you will not believe you should be checking.
There are things that nobody has any business touching. In capacity of certain things, we'll see cars that people run wire from this fuel system while you run wire to a shield system. For any reason, anything bursts or gets out of whack.
So maybe you enter a pothole and a nozzle flips or trips because it wasn't like sorted leg properly, and the wire is hot, runs hot. By coincidence or random accident, there's a spark on the bonnet. What's going on? That's fine. That's all. I mean, so does that mean, because what you're saying now, how do I put it? So the thing is, it's not everyone that can actually, check all these things. They need to go with mechanic. And I remember I even mentioned to you one time that mechanic has a thing. You got
no, they are certified shops and certified people you take it out. Like, who is prepared to take car for you thoroughly? If you want to buy Nigerian use,
go with your mechanic. If everybody goes and grabs Kazim, that Kazim is an expert on car inspection. The problem here is there are a couple of
problems with us in Nigeria. We don't feel the need to pay for service.
Yeah, sure, it's a fundamental problem. My mindset is, honestly, if you give me good service, I'll pay you what you tell me is your worth for that service. If you honestly can convince me that if I have the option of Nuru, as a plumber, right, coming to do plumbing in my house, and Nuru is to join me 10k, and you tell me your own bill is 100k, for example, but I know that what you are doing, I'm not going to call you the next 2 years, unlike having to call Nuru every other day, to 9 or every 2-3 months to come and fix the same thing. So no better. Yeah.
True.
So we always just feel it's good to chip out on anything. We shouldn't be paying more than a certain amount of money on certain things. And
if you go outside the country, you go to the US, you go, do you know how much people that have skilled work make? Yeah, and do me pay. Yeah, I don't know if you remember sometime 2-3 years ago in the States side, they had this cold wave that ran through like Texas. Plumbers took their trucks because they're short of plumbers in Texas because they don't experience that cold wave in like decades. People drove in trucks, plumbers from New York, North States to Texas to go and make money. Yeah, but because we always feel, why should you pay Kazi more than this? I pay that here.
And now, unfortunately, on the reverse side of the spectrum,
Right? Unfortunately, some of the shops too that now charge an arm and 2 legs don't necessarily give you the value of quality for what you actually are paying for. Unfortunately, that's the reverse side of the spectrum. So it's either here or here.
Yeah. But anybody who is buying a Nigerian used car should honestly have a proper diagnosis done on the car. You need to check everything from especially electrical to fuel systems, to transmission. Case in point, I replaced the transmission for someone recently. When we went to look at it, we discovered that they had opened the valve body before
Of the new transmission of
the old one. That it can be replaced. All the service
about change the bulb body or something, and they use R&X,
Right?
to go and do some things inside the valve body together. And they told that guy that they replaced that valve body. Wow. How? The people open the valve body to check. Actually, the owner will not even, doesn't even know what he's looking at. So they're getting ready to have to my used car, right? Why will you need to open valve body
on a car you're trying to buy Niger used?
Well, so for me, I always thought when you go and look at a Nigerian car, you can change the engine, but you cannot change the. Don't go and buy a car that they've cut into 4 pieces and joined together. I think that they are buying something. Don't believe.
That's a very conversation.
Check it for structural damage. There's some damages that can be fixed, and there are some that the structural integrity of that car is really one. There's nothing can if you get into a bad crash with it, you find yourself in more danger than you would have been with a normal car. I mean, today there are some small buses, those corporate buses. Have you seen how those things are shipped into the country? We call them shared bodies, so they cut them free for every. Then this
It looks like this Porsche. They bring them in convertible.
they bring them, then they turn them to hearts of the world. Them
Not just coattail.
now most of you even so even normal cars. So if I'm going to buy a Nigerian used car and I want to really dig deep to know, okay, what has been done. It's not a bad thing to rebuild a car. I tell people this. So I've seen people on YouTube rebuilding cars, but people down here, they do
The
things.
issue is the way and manner with which things are done.
If a part is not
Quality control for anything.
yeah.
So everyone just does what they like.
I think, like I was going to like in the UK now, I know that there's like a category S, A category.
Yeah.
I think there are like 4 categories. And if it's in A or S, that's once the structural damage is
Gone.
that car can never, even if you try to fix it and you fix it,
It's almost
they won't allow it on the road. Well, in Nigeria, there's no, like you said, there's no one actually checking these things to say.
But we have
This
something like we have the roadworthiness now where you have to take your car for inspection.
Roadworthiness go check where they cut a joint.
Yeah, definitely. They might not be that detailed yet. Because I remember in the US, I fixed an accidented IS-50 2015. It was just a small accident, front driver side. So, and it affected the struts, the wheel bearing, and the control arms on that driver's side. So I bought everything brand new from AutoZone. I installed everything. Now, the steering was not straight. And if you do the old school way where you remove the steering and drive on the road and straighten, you might get a traction control light because your steering wheel sensor is not aligned. So I took the car for alignment. For me to even get a place that was going to do the alignment, it involved me calling 1 or 2 guys that know somebody because nobody would just do it like that. Now, I did the alignment. I took it to the place to do the alignment, and the guy takes the car and collects $30 from me, takes the car and puts it on the lift, and comes back to tell me that, oh, he cannot do the alignment because he noticed some structural damage on the car. So therefore, he's not doing the alignment because even if the alignment doesn't come out straight when it's done, I'll still be disturbing him. And I'm like, is this one crazy? So you have collected my $30 because you are charging me $75 for alignment, but you've collected my $30 because you put my car on your ramp and you checked, and then you told me that you couldn't even do what I wanted. Me, that I know that in Nigeria, I will pay 10K and that alignment will be done. And that car is perfect. Now, I now had to go and look at why this guy is telling me that the car has structural damage. Do you know why this guy told me that car has structural damage when I looked at it? There was a part of the main body in the wheel arc that had a dent. It was just a small dent from the impact. That was what this guy was telling me was structural damage. And so therefore he didn't do the alignment. Now, that's how detailed they are. Oh yeah, Baba. Any small thing we patch and we do. And for users that use cars daily down here and the person feels it's time to upgrade. If I was to start even feeling like it's time to upgrade, they don't focus on maintenance. And like you said, electricals are key. And I tell people, when you want to buy an Nigerian used car, just even open the hood. Look at the amount of work that's been done. Is everything supposed to be in the right place? Is X supposed to be where X is? You know, I've been with him one day where he was fighting some guy because the guy removed some clips from his bumper and they wanted to replace them with those black screws. And he was like, no. And they were arguing back and forth. So those little things sometimes actually count. Okay, so I always tell people, when you want to go and look at a Nigerian used car, you check body, right? Now just go inside the car. Put the key on. Don't start the car. Look at the lights that come on the dash. Check. Is your SRS airbag light showing? If it's not showing, it means either the SRS airbag has an issue or the car crashed before and then somebody blocked. Check your check engine light. Is the check engine light showing or is not showing? If it's not showing, it means there's a fault with that car. That it might be a big fault, it might be a small fault, and somebody did not want to go through the stress of fixing it, so they blocked it. Or it might signify a bigger thing, which is there's even no catalytic converter in the car. So be ready to fix that, or be ready to use the car, continue polluting the environment. Or some people don't believe that catalytic converter is safe for, I believe it saves for. So it depends on how you see it. Or even check for your ABS lights. Check to see whether it has been blocked or not as well. But don't start the car. Just leave the ignition on and check out all these lights. Some might go on or off after a minute. Maybe like a check engine light might go off, or the SIS light might go off after a minute before you start the engine. And about the if you even another thing you need to check even before you start the engine is that engine oil light. I'm talking of older vehicles. Some cars don't have all these engine oil lights. So some people know that their engine is bad, and for a bad engine, that light flashes sometimes even when you started the engine, meaning the oil pump is giving way. But then they would have their mechanic or their cousin block it, and you just buy the car thinking, oh, I bought a Nigerian used car. Then 6 months down the line, your engine knocks because you don't really know, you're not really getting the true picture of what's going on. So these are just a few things to look out for. So
you see this mission, I think actually on points. Yeah. Yes, share any right, so you guys make sure you do other things.
I'll really get back to Shina to ask. So I know yes you have got that privilege to drive so many cars, like a lot. But let us go into that. But I just wanted to know your first Nigerian used car, which
was it 2002?
That's 200. Well, you need them cars on pieces. Small car. Very. I really love driving a car. I promise you.
For an old car, the performance was pretty decent and was a manual.
That was an automatic. It was really nice. I mean, we did the checks.
I think the only thing wrong with the car was the valves had a tapping sound. and we owned the car for about 2 years. And wondering how the car even get over because our workers were
Sort of mishandled it eventually, and wrecked a couple of things in the car, and that's all we just sold it off for. I think we got up before. We were found it, went on DG. I was looking for the car, found it, met up with the guy
Around that get along area, looked at the car too much, good, paid him, and drove the car back.
Yeah, at least you won't find cars like that online anymore. Abdi said, it's just sad that certain cars are getting extinct down here. And I mean, there's still some band finds because somebody sent me an SC300 last week. It's been in one rich man's house for the longest, and man just abandoning his back and we're like, okay, I like to mess with this. So I mean, there are still cars, but they get extinct. You just doesn't buy them anymore. Buy them as they enjoy use them anymore. If you want something rare, you have to go and put it for that.
So the conversation just reminded me. Last week, 2 weeks ago,
I found that son fairly.
Where? Yeah. What color was it? Grey? Where in Lagos here? Yeah. For sale?
That upper building road, the guy said he even decided I wanted to fix it. But I told him, it's fine. Do what you're doing. We already out there.
Wow, because there's one guy,
Why did for that car?
There's one guy that has one in Lagos, a grey one. I met him at Marriott. I think his name is Libe.
He has the original.
Yeah, the guy shipped it from Japan.
He even has a V2 though.
Yeah, he has a 2QP number on it.
Full life, right? Yeah, regular, yeah. This other one though.
Idea for it is not to restore it. Idea for it is to put a big body V8 inside.
Wow.
And just yell out of it. This guy's are walking out.
That's great.
Is it functional or is it not functional? Like, is it packed some functional?
Not functional.
I found them pushing the car. It eventually started.
I mean, so why is he not willing to say?
You will read a number. Hey, of course I have his number.
It's always difficult for people to just start go. Especially when there's that connections. Nah, I feel like what?
I would buy a Nigerian used car from somebody that has takes care of his car or has love for his car, and somebody that just can't fix it, you can't service it. Yeah. Nah, you might run into problems.
That's exactly the concept. When you want to buy a Nigerian used car,
if you see the care and the attention to detail that the owner puts into the car, that would tell you
if you should be buying the car or not. If it just seems like regular inventory in a shop,
you can tell when somebody has a connection with his car. You can tell when someone takes care of his car. The aesthetics you see inside it, how is his interior, how is the mat, how is everything, you understand? I mean, you see signs of wear and say here and there, but when you see the car, you can tell if it was owned by a car person. You open the hood, how clean is the engine? Certain things, are they all spots all over the place? When you see certain things, it will tell you honestly what you need to know. Then, most importantly,
look at the wiring. Is it a mess? Is there signs of cut and joint? Dark tip there and there, all those kind of things. Like, when you see all of that, that just gives you, at the end of the day, an idea of what you need to
look out for. But you can buy Nigerian used cars. It's just that you have to be a lot more careful
in doing your research, in doing your homework. And the theory of
why they can't go my mechanic, they go check. My brother, that's bullshit. Take it to a proper workshop. And if they're going to charge you 50k, I mean, if you're buying the car of say, you buy the 10 million naira to 20 million in Nigerian used car.
I don't think spending even 100 to 200,000 for a workshop to do properly as they go on the side for you is too much to pay. You have to look at the value of what you're spending in relation to.
Okay, buying CDMI. So you can say you want to spend 2 million on a car, you have a problem spending 100 to 200,000 to do the proper checks that need to be done on the car.
I think it's a no-brainer, to be honest. But because we have a habit of chipping out and everything.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Now,
I think I was going to ask just one question.
So from start to finish, well, not finish because you see with the markers, but from start to now, is there any car that you regretted ever buying?
Or ever said, hey, yes, okay, I don't think I've regretted any car I bought, okay, but I regret getting rid of my Mazda RX-6.
So,
oh God,
the beauty of life.
he has a friend that used to say in Yoruba that car turned him to mechanic Akpadodo. So that simply means that car made him become a full-blown mechanic by force.
So, I'll send out my journey. You're regretting.
This guy is drama.
I'll say my journey into cars started from my dad. I not owned quite a number of cars. My dad owned from the years of like V-Bits. The other V-Bits. Then the old
Remember the E30 BMW?
Yeah.
The 5 Series of the E30.
we had that as well. What is some patrol we owned? Land Cruisers. Jetta, Adpasser, VW.
Oh my God.
We had 505, 504. Back then, so like it was easy for my dad. Like lots of cars. That's where my first initial love for cars came from. So fast forward to when
I was able to know, like, okay, like, you would tinker with them.
the RX-8 was my first real experience of actually, because even the mechanics here that say do a mechanics go, they don't necessarily know understand that car. But when it's sat, when it's moving, yeah, the performance was like, even then I bought lots of performance parts. I was even going to upgrade the clutch. I bought upgraded clutch and like so many things, like, you know, modifying the car, even my spark plugs, everything. Like, you used to ship them in from the UK, modified parts just for that car. You know, but I regret getting rid of it because after I got rid of it was when my dimension of car enthusiasm started shifting from just owning a nice car. It became wanting more out of the car.
Modifying the car. How could I squeeze out more and more and more out of that car? After I got rid of the car was when I realized I needed that car for a show. Like the dimensions of how much more, like my knowledge level in terms of how far you can go with a car and what you can do to and with the car had started expanding. And then I now started to
even look for another shot of that car to buy that. That's almost sexy now, but
My dear, anyway, I can get one. Fuse get one. I'm so confused. Anyone in Lagos, but I don't do so.
I don't need anything else from it. Just take the shoe. If somebody has that thing that is in the car to do, I just want to film it. I'll happily take it off the person. There are things I know that I will do with that shell that will literally break the internet. I'm not even playing, you know. But that's it. Let's say cars that's the only car I say I regret selling, and I don't think I've regretted anything I bought so far.
the cake, I didn't even give you the cake on that RX. It was the Rex and Jackson.
Yeah. And I never converted this. I drove it.
You already have this.
I drove it that way. I never got. Initially, I thought I was going to do races. But I'm like, nah, I'm not converting. To you, like, to Lagos. Righty. Fine, you never had any issues with.
When you get it from?
Where is in the back? I do me first.
I think I watched it the first time. But everybody off the street, you know, like, I'll build and I saw it all like, but see, first I know I didn't pass this.
But do that wrong, give him his mind. So I do that car for.
How about you? You enjoy that can yeah. But I mean, this to come in and unity.
I mean, it's nice having you, and it was fun hearing your stories and your views. Tobi, thank you very much as well.
Thank you.
You see, drag you on the show.
Another time.
So yeah, the other stories are
tell us more stories. I think there's more where these years are. So
Be seeing us this more and more. See you guys next week. Alright, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button and like and share with your friends. Alright, thanks.